Peace and power Atlanta and the world. Last year, we made history with the beauty, the pageantry, the majesty, and we right back at ya. The second annual Black Power Awards, a celebration of Black excellence. Saturday, November 18th, hosted by rapper and activist David Banner and actress Ernestine Johnson. Honorees include Dr. Matulu Shakur, Dr. Rita Marley, and hip-hop legend himself, Rakim Allah. For tickets and information, go to blackpowerawards.com or call 404-439-1044. The second annual Black Power Awards, Saturday, November 18th at the Sheraton Atlanta, downtown.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Yeah. Hey, we back in the building. And we got a special guest in the building. When I tell you it's about to be ignorant, densed a mug. Listen, my homeboy is in the building. We ain't worked together in a while. It's been a minute. I think he came through here maybe last year, the year before, something like that.
2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. But he back in the building, and whenever we get together, goddamn it's Sag and Gemini, nigga, we turn up.
Oh, shit.
We get in here and turn up, boy. We done had some hella fucking stories, man. Shit's about to be crazy. We have an incredible topic tonight. Gosh. You know what I got to do before I even get to the topics, though? I got to promote a couple of things. Listen, the thing number one. I told everybody Monday that the brand that I was promoting on the air here, Total Package Energy, right?
Like condoms?
No.
It's an energy shot.
I have one.
You have one.
Oh, you have
Can
a
I see
condom?
it?
I mean, I have that too.
She got that too.
But
hers is used.
Hey, hold on, pimp. Don't test her resolve. Let me see it. Let me see it. Okay. So, Total Package Energy. I told y'all on Monday that they were close to a record.
Yeah, did you break it?
We didn't break it.
Oh, no. So try again and order today.
Right,
So
today.
where we ended was 116 cases for the month. The record is 121.
Aw.
All right.
So we just missed the record. And I was just really trying to push these guys to get them over that mark.
Yeah.
Hey, out of Oakland, town business.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, man. Good people. I met him through Marcus King.
Sorry to hear that.
Here we go. Lay down.
You're hilarious. Oh, my goodness.
Nah, but the dude, Anthony Eagleton, is one of the world's best trainers. And he trains DeMar DeRozan and what's the Damon Lillard. He trains all of these guys up in the town.
Right.
So Marcus hooked me up with him, and now the dude trains my son.
Oh, cool.
Who's at Fresno State.
Right.
So the dude got a product, and nobody know about it. I said, I'm going to promote it.
Me too.
Wow.
I love
DeRozan
it.
and Lillard didn't promote it.
They probably not contractually obligated to do so.
But if that's your man, if that's your guy, they should do it on the strength.
Man, you know that ain't going to happen, Johnny.
You're right. I'm sorry
Okay.
about it. Shout out to Oakland.
There you go. Represent the town. Jesus.
Right.
You Richmond. You right there.
Yeah,
Gay
I never
area.
really messed with Oakland that much. It was, Richmond
That's
and Oakland.
hysterical.
Richmond and Oakland had a little situation.
Little rivals.
Yeah,
I believe it.
yeah, we had a war over barbecue sauce.
Shit.
Oh, no.
Not over the barbecue.
I know, but seriously, this time around, starting November 1st, let's push Total Package Energy towards that mark. My mark for this month is 150 cases.
Do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I think that could happen.
We can do that. No
How does
problem.
that break down over 30 days? 150 divided,
wait.
30 divided by
That's
100.
like 5 a day.
That's 5 a day.
Sounds like a cocaine deal going by. How many keys is that a week? That's
Well,
like
we forgot Johnny Mack.
5 a week right there.
Johnny Mack is a street lawyer, by the way.
That is true.
Hey,
I defended
hey.
myself.
All right.
I am right now, so hey now.
Oh,
right.
you in jail? What happened?
I'm self-represented in this divorce, and I'm killing the game.
Okay, cool. All right, PM. All right, so look, I got one more thing to promote.
But you still got no wedding ring.
This is just my fancy jewelry.
Okay.
That's
It's a bless
cracker.
myself ring.
on the cracker.
She put a navel ring on her finger.
It's about to
You
get
know
crazy.
what?
That's
I don't
all
have a
can
navel
say.
though, just for the record, so I can put those wherever I want.
You didn't have a navel.
No, I don't have a belly button.
Here we go.
Are you
That's a whole
sport?
nother
What
conversation.
Here we go. Spawn. Okay, cool. Let me finish this. Let me finish.
Yeah,
Spawn.
total package energy. Is like,
Let me
Total package.
Total Package Energy. Go cash mob them right now. The other business that I'm repping. I just watch. We about to do a radio show. I just had a meeting. We about to give this guy a radio show.
do it, sneakerheads.
Sneaker Politics
All right.
with Javier Laval,
All right.
Oh,
where fashion, music, politics intersect.
I like that.
It's gonna be fly as shit. Let me tell you how this benefits the Zo What and Voice of Reason listeners. You guys, because you fuck with me,
All right.
okay.
can go to his website, luxury sneaker line, designed here in LA, but handmade in Italy. Flyest sneakers on some.
They're so fresh.
You get 25% off because you fuck with me.
Oh,
All you
that's
gotta do
what's up.
is type in Zoe Williams. 25% comes off.
25
If I had a boo, I'd
on
buy
it.
someone some sneakers.
That means
But
we
I ain't
get,
got no boo, so.
That means we get free shoestrings.
Free shoestrings.
That's all we get. Free
Basically.
shoestrings.
No, but the shoes are high end. They sell in
They're
Saks
so
Fifth
good.
Avenue. They sell right next to the Gucci's, right next to the Versace's. A lot of white people all over the world buy this guy's brand, but they don't know he black.
Right.
I didn't either. But
In your face.
Javier, that threw me off.
Look at you.
He could be
It's-
Latino or
but it's a
something.
brother though. It's a brother, and I think
know,
we
like,
should.
you know, Dominican black.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think we should
Latino
support.
black.
We should support his brand. All right. That's
All right. I'm down.
AndroidOhm.com.
Hey.
Ohm is spelled HOMME. Android like the phone. AndroidOhm.com. Please go there. And it's shit. Christmas is right around the corner. You might as well get that 25% off right now.
Yes.
Put my name, Zoe Williams, Z-O Williams. You get 25% off.
That's what I'm talking
Now,
about.
let me just say this. I already gave you the hookup, so don't go there asking for the double hookup.
Right.
Which I would.
My people.
Right. And then let me say this too.
I need 25% off per shoe.
You're so funny.
Right.
You need 25% off per shoe.
Per shoe.
Wow.
It makes you think for a minute and you're like, that's 50% off.
Right.
Hysterical. All right, there's Johnny Mack. Ladies and gentlemen, there's my promotions. That's what we're doing.
Oh, except your book.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
You're right.
And then there's my book.
Yes.
The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. There you go. The book came out in 2015. It's a relationship workbook, 12 chapters. At the end of every chapter, there are exercises. Can't move on to the next chapter until you do the exercises. It's a breakup, wake up, and makeup book. And I always tell people, if you're in a good relationship, you should read it.
Right.
Because it will equip you with the tools necessary for when bullshit happens. All right? A lot of people, when bullshit happens, you run to anything.
Right.
So it's a good book for bad relationships.
Good book for bad relationship or a
Right.
good book for good relationships. Make
Right.
good relationships better.
Right.
Hey.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
On the
fire.
good book side of the game.
On the good book side of the game.
Yeah.
Did you read the book?
I have. I'm redoing it. I gotta work on this stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I've been on chapter 7 for a good
Oh, that's the
minute.
bankruptcy chapter.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Here we go.
The ex is bankrupt. I'm not.
In the
so.
name of
Right.
Jesus.
You know what?
Here we go. All right, so look. Here we go. Today's topic. Oh, shit. I waited to tell Johnny this. I had to.
Right, I'm like, does he know what he sat down for?
God.
Oh my goodness.
Johnny about to wild.
Yeah, I've been doing this for.
I need to put my seatbelt on.
Johnny about to wild out.
Yeah, I've
That's
been
all
doing
I
this
for the
radio
ride.
shit for
I
a minute.
feel it.
That's all I can tell you. Johnny about to wild out when he hear this topic. Oh, that's another thing. Don't forget to hit the super chat while you're in there watching the show.
Right.
Everybody, hit the super chat. Anybody who hit the super chat, you're going to get shouted out like Enoch Wesley. He just dropped $25 hitting the super chat. The super chat is the little $ down there. We're live on YouTube right now. Hit the super chat. I'm going to shout you out if you do. Now, today's topic. Oh, shit.
I'm ready. Shit, what's today's topic?
Transformers.
You scared the shit out of me. I
Gets
thought you were going to say
better.
trans.
Oh, he is. So watch out.
AKA HeMO's and SheMO's.
Hysterical.
No shit, no.
A more in-depth look at the transgender revolution. Should heterosexual men view transsexual women as real women?
No.
No.
Oh, God. Is there a moral duty to disclose that you're transgender to a potential heterosexual partner?
Yes.
To any partner.
God
Absolutely.
damn.
Wait.
Should... Uh-oh, Johnny Mack, he about to cut up. Hold
I
up.
mean-
Let me ask these questions and then y'all get cut up.
This is a fucked up situation already.
No, because let me just say this.
Y'all not going to like none of my answers.
This is fine. This is why you're here
That's
today.
why you're here.
That's perfect.
So-
talk that shit.
There's an actress, right?
Allegedly.
On allegedly on Orange is the New Black.
Laverne Cox.
Her name Laverne Cox. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta change the name. You can't be transgender with the last name Cox. You
Yeah.
gotta change that.
That's
Step into that. That's strike one.
kind of a faux pas. Okay, cool. Laverne Cox says men are ashamed of dating trans women, or men who are ashamed of dating trans women are insecure as fuck.
Maybe we just don't like dudes.
How about that?
Well, when
Right.
you read further,
Why I
she
gotta be
kind
on-
of explains what she's talking about.
I don't know.
what is she
First
talking
of all, it's not a she.
So,
Johnny
so-
Mack.
It's a shim.
No, it's a dude.
no, so I come from a different era where I respect people for what they identify for.
That's not
so
true.
I'm gonna respect her for how she identifies. So,
No,
but
but-
that's just me. You're allowed to be you.
No, but you gotta base it on the facts.
You
Well,
gonna
the
let her
fact
talk,
is she
Johnny?
changed her
Every-
genitalia to
every-
match how she identifies. So
What I want to say, every
acknowledge her that way.
homo, how do you say it? Every
Cell,
cell
DNA, hormone.
is male.
Is that true?
I'm gonna say this is gonna
Well,
be.
yeah, you can't.
There's
the
no such thing as a transgender.
Transition doesn't change your chromosomes. So yeah, like
That's what I'm
her
looking for.
genetic DNA is still gonna show up with more Y chromosomes, obviously. But but
You
what
still
I'm referring
producing
to
sperm
is
cells, motherfuckers.
I was
Right.
started reading it, but I didn't get to read the whole statement because obviously that's just like it's called clickbait. Like that's a clickbait headline, so people
Right.
will get fired up and click, and they get paid more money. So, but I've heard what she said before. She has an amazing documentary called The T Word that, basically follows young girls and boys as early as 3 years old that are trans.
That's stupid.
And like their journey and what that looks like. But what she was basically saying is if you're willing to date me and be sexual with me, but you're ashamed to identify me, like you're ashamed to give me the title, that's insecure as fuck.
What is the
like if you're
title?
gonna
What is
like,
the title? You a
like
dude.
boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. Like basically her point is like not that she's saying she respects if you don't want to date trans people. That's fine. But she's talking more about people who are like, I'm going to fuck you, but I'm not going to tell nobody about it. That's what
And
she's
there
talking about.
is,
This
I think we got to talk about those dudes because that's the Eddie Murphy dude.
Right.
Right.
Allegedly.
There's a lot of people who are willing to be sexual and even have relationships with transgender people, but they're just not going to tell nobody.
Right.
this is-
exactly.
I don't know
And
your
then that's
protocol.
insecure as fuck. Like, if you're going to be willing
Johnny
to
Mack.
fuck you and date you, you may as well tell people who your girlfriend or boyfriend
I
is.
don't know. I don't know the protocol.
Okay, what do you need?
This is a
heads up
gang
on?
of bullshit.
Go ahead.
This person, what was Laverne Cox's real name before he changed it? I like to quote my mother: "Fake hair and fake breasts doesn't make you a woman. If you're a woman, you should be embarrassed to call this person a woman. You should be ashamed. You should be like, what's the word I'm looking for? You should be totally against it, because somebody I don't know how old this motherfucker was. We decided to change. At the age of 39, said, I'm gonna be a woman today. And you done grew up from an infant into a beautiful woman such as yourself, even though you have a belly button, but we can talk about that later. And this young lady, Mimi, somebody can, like, let's say Caitlyn Jenner, all of a sudden I'm a woman because you got a wig and fake breasts? So how the fuck you got a wig, fake breasts, fake hair, fake breasts, but you want a real relationship? That makes no sense. Because if that person who you was so-called dating wanted a man, he would have went out with a man.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would challenge you that anybody with implants is not a real woman then, right? Like anybody with anything fake, any girl who wears weave, any girl who has implants.
No, that's a whole big difference.
Would be a challenge.
The girl
Anybody
that's
with
wearing the
fake
weave
anything
ain't
shouldn't
saying
want
I'm now a
relationship.
man. That's men. We talking about a man that put on fucking
I'm just
augmentations.
saying, like, you said anybody with fake anything shouldn't expect real relationships.
That's
like,
true
a
too.
bold statement.
That actually is true. Let's think about it. You fake as fuck, but you want to keep it real. That's an oxymoron.
I'm saying there's a lot of dudes and females out here with a whole lot of fake stuff.
But if you fake, how you gonna go real? How was that? Think about it. So when you go home, you're gonna take off your hair or whatever the fuck you said, the weave and all that shit. Let me tell you something about a weave.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of these people, that stuff doesn't come off, right? When you're post-operational, these are your parts.
No, it's not.
Those are just they're there now. Like it's not like come off.
Whenever you gotta tuck your dick into a G-string, nigga, it ain't real.
No, again, that's not
what I'm looking for.
That's pre-op.
That's not what I don't want no pre-nothing.
I told you Johnny Mack was gonna be in
I'm not here to warm up.
And but here's the thing. He's actually not off the chain. This is 95% of the black community's opinion. This is exactly how they feel. That's not, his opinion doesn't surprise me. This is exactly what 95% of the black community
your opinion
feels
did
like.
surprise me.
So, well, I'm super liberal. I used to actually lead GLBTQ groups. I used to actually work with trans youth. So, like, I have a completely different perspective.
I don't know what none of those alphabets meant.
I've worked in the community with people who have been, living a life different than their genetic genitalia since they were 4, 5, 6 years old.
Okay, so let me just say this.
Yeah.
I understand that side of the game.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the moral side of the game.
Right.
What I mean by that is, there are a lot of trans people who don't disclose.
Right.
And who will come across like a heterosexual male or female.
That's not right.
And then will have sex with somebody without telling them, I was born a dude or I was born a girl.
Murder
and
was
to
the
me,
case that they
to
gave
me, there's a moral responsibility, a moral obligation
I agree.
at Jump Street.
Absolutely.
To me.
Well, first of all, I should have knew when I talked to this person that this was a fucking man.
Technology's on another level.
Technology
technology
can't change my hands and feet. Technology ain't changing my throat.
But you know what?
You see my goddamn, look at my hands. There's nothing I can do that's gonna make my hand look like your hand.
Well, I will say Playboy just is putting on cover the first trans person in Playboy, and I promise you can't tell.
It's disgusting.
I promise you can't tell. So again, that's where
that magazine ain't gonna sell.
Zoe's talking about the moral obligation. I absolutely agree. Like, you have a lot of moral obligations that people don't talk about before they get sexually involved with people. And yeah, that's definitely one of them. We've had this discussion before. I understand why they don't, because there's a safety issue involved. But you still need to
according to you, if that's really a woman.
I'm not saying that's an excuse. No, everybody has a moral obligation to know the previous gender of their sexual partners.
Oh,
any person who's trans.
I need to know.
I think that's a prerequisite.
Important.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to see baby pictures. We need
all
that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I need
some
to see
of
it
them
all.
look good.
I need to prick your finger, see what kind of blood you got. I need all kind of tests going on.
Right.
I need to see every goddamn thing.
Mimi?
Right.
Yeah.
We need to get your finger poked.
I need to see you eat a banana. Did you bite it or you just slid it down your throat? I need all that. I need to see all that shit.
Do you bite it or do you just slide it down?
Dick, I still chew my bananas. I don't know what that's about.
You said you suck dick.
Okay.
I still chew my bananas though. Like, damn.
I'm just saying. I need to see it all.
But you know what? Some of them look really good.
No,
and
a lot of them look
especially
amazing.
when they're other nationalities, like these Asian women, they have actual like competitions. Google it. They look really good.
I'm never gonna Google that.
No, you know why? Because they have smaller feet and hands. They're petite people anyway.
No
So
matter
the
what
women,
you say,
no, I'm not
Mimi,
saying,
a man is a man.
No,
you know,
I'm not saying that.
when you run across a goddamn man.
I get what you're saying, but I just want you to see it. Just take time
No,
later
I don't want to
on.
see it.
Okay, perfect.
But you're saying because as a group of people, they tend to be more petite in general. They transition to still look more feminine.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So normally, you know,
What
where
the
somebody,
fuck?
no, that particular, it was a beauty competition. I mean, I'm not into it. I just flicked the
You can
channels.
strike out beauty.
And well, that's what it was supposed to
It was
be.
a
but-
competition. You can take the
right.
word beauty out of it.
Okay, well, it was a competition amongst the group of people. And they were all competing to make themselves beautiful of what they thought was beautiful. Because in their minds, they want to transform into something else that they're not. And this is their opportunity to shine amongst their peers.
Well,
And so-
listen. Go ahead, babe. No, finish that thought, babe. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's just their opportunity to shine. I mean, so I agree with you because sometimes, you know, you could tell it's a
Hey,
man
dirt
as soon as you
never
see
shines.
it.
So listen,
You
that
know
brings
what?
us to the question of the day.
Which is
What would you do? Right?
Oh my God,
If
somebody.
you met somebody that fooled you, and to the point where you was getting serious or whatever,
Never. Never.
what would you do if
Ne-
you got fooled? Call us. The number to dial is 323-230.
Well, the world would never know about it.
4610.
It would be a
323-230.
secret,
Somebody's
huh?
gonna take that to the grave, and it won't be me.
Right.
Well, so
And it
something I
won't
feel
be-
like we've always missed in this conversation, we're always talking about like men to females, but what about females to males? Because there's
Right.
a ton of trans people that transition to males.
Right.
Females to male.
Yeah.
Females to male.
Yeah.
A
Right.
good majority of the youth that I actually worked with were female to male youth. And because males in society are a little more dominant and it's actually a little easier to transition feminine to masculine hormonally, like a lot of my youth pass. That's like the term they use, pass, which is can you walk down the street and not be concerned to be harassed for quote unquote cross-dressing or being trans. So I actually had especially pre-puberty, it's very easy for girls who are transitioning as boys to pass.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of trans people. I had a former coworker who
Well, we're gonna
was
find
trans,
out when it's time for him to throw
female
the
to male.
football. Can you throw a football?
Right.
How does
or
that-
false?
Let me see your jump shot. How does that work?
Right.
Because there's a different form when you playing football.
'Cause I had to think about
can
as
you
I
throw
was
a
driving
10-yard
here.
out? Can you throw a 10-yard out?
A 10-yard out.
As I was driving here, I was like,
How
would
many
I be
women
with a
can throw a
trans
10-yard
person?
out? Can you throw a 10-yard out?
Oh, I don't know.
Thank you. I know right then there ain't no goddamn man. Right there.
Right.
True or false?
Trick question. Right?
Transgender women think they have a right to sleep with straight men without disclosing that they used to have penises, and that the men who who feel they violated are transphobic bigots. In other words, I get to be with you and not tell you that I used to have a swipe, and if you get mad about it,
Then
you're
I
a
ain't shit.
transphobic bigot.
But that's what kills me. Why is it always my fault?
Wow.
Why is it? I hypothetically just saying me. Why is it always my fault? So if you was a fucking dude that switch your shit to a girl, and I don't like it, then I ain't shit.
Right. No, me and my best friend had the same conversation. And I actually, this is where people get confused because I'm like, I actually think that description you just gave, Zoe, is actually wrong and people use it all the time. That's not the definition of transphobic. Transphobic is not liking transgender people in general. Wanting to have
transphobic?
That do it.
Like
Wait,
that's
wait,
just
say
not
that
liking
again. No,
trans.
that's interesting.
Transphobic is like homophobic. I just don't like gay people.
But can
There's
you
a
just
difference
not
between
like
not wanting
somebody?
to have sex with someone and not liking the group of people.
I even hate that term homophobic, because to have a phobia means a fear of. It means I can't do my regular day living because there's homosexuals in the room or whatever. I don't have a fear of homosexuals. It was a comedian back in the day named Flame, and
the comedian.
the
Yeah,
comedian,
he's funny.
and we went at it, and I won. You know, I beat him in a battle, and the motherfucker got mad to me. I used to be a man. I'm like, nigga, I've always fought men. What's the difference? I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of none of this shit. I just don't. I just choose not to be around it. Like this young lady was talking about. She went to a party and they was handing out weed and all this shit. I don't smoke, so I choose not to go to that party.
Right.
So if I don't participate, I just choose not. That don't make me a bad guy. I'm not the guy that fought here. I don't want to hang out in no goddamn gay bar with a whole bunch of dudes bumping mustaches.
But
that's not my term.
But that doesn't necessarily make you homophobic. Again, that's what I'm saying. We're agreeing actually on this point where I was saying, I don't agree with that statement you wrote. So like that is wrong for someone to be like, I don't want to have to tell you, and if I do tell you don't like it, then you're transphobic. That's actually not accurate, and that's a huge problem and misnomer in the trans community.
I don't even want a trans ain't.
Like literally, like that's the conversation.
Just give me a regular Camaro. Just give me a regular Camaro.
You know what? He's rolling out.
This nigga said, I don't want a Trans Am.
I just want a regular Camaro. There's too much trans in this motherfucker.
Too much trans.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it. Caller, you got to turn your whole life down.
Pull your antenna up.
All right, we got to go.
Okay.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it.
Chanel from Manteca, California.
Well, let's talk about it, honey.
Okay, well, I've been listening, and I'm so glad you guys are doing this topic. I know when we're having a lot of the transgendered women murders, there were a lot of reports coming out that the Black community was homophobic. And I guess the problem with that statement is, you know, I believe that the Black community is not homophobic, as I believe that's a false narrative that's really being played out. And what I started doing was I started researching this topic a lot on why a lot of transgender women were being murdered. And the topic about, you know, transgender women not disclosing if they are, you know, their history as far as if they were men came up with why sometimes they were getting murdered, you know, when they would, you know, sleep with a heterosexual man. That was one of the reasons why they were, why, you know, a murder would take place. And that's not right, of course. They shouldn't be getting killed. But the issue with the well, they shouldn't get killed. You know, they shouldn't kill anyone.
There's a thing called justifiable homicide.
Right. Okay, yes, it is justifiable. Some people have said it is justifiable as far as they've snapped or something like that. They'll say they snapped.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I was snapped.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Where there's some reports that came out where some of the men, it's like the men have violated. It's a form of rape. That's what a lot of men have been saying.
It's a
it's a what?
It's a form of rape.
Yeah,
because it's non-consensual, and that's a good point.
I wouldn't call it rape.
You know, sex has to go with consent. And so when I started looking at more research about this, I think it's in the UK. They have a law where you do have to disclose the information, and that's something we should definitely work on out here, because there's a lot of cases where you know, transgender women are not disclosing that information.
What is a lot of cases? 10 of them? What do you mean by a lot of cases?
No, it's like hundreds.
There was I stumbled. I want to say it was about 30 cases. Just
that's not a lot.
Let her finish, Johnny.
She's taking so goddamn long.
That was when I say as far as them trying to have the relationship to say, you know, I can get a man because, you know, I'm decided to become trans, you know, I'm a transgender woman. This is the life I want to live. And so I want to live a heterosexual lifestyle, but I don't want to disclose that my history, I used to be, you know, I was born, as far as anatomy is concerned, a man. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't want to confuse the pronouns.
Fine.
I understand that could be politically incorrect if I say it incorrectly. But what I was looking at with some of my research, there's a thread on YouTube called I Didn't Know I Was Transgendered. And there's a big conversation going around where the community, some members of the community feel it's okay to disclose. Some members of the community feel it's not okay.
Right.
And so it's one of those things where we really have to get some kind of laws on the books to really deal with the respect for humanity part and the consent and the morals, because it is a form of violation when it comes to sex. Yes means yes, no means no. And so when it comes to that intimate relationship, you want to be able to have all of that out in the open before you get into the bed.
Hey.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, she's dropping bombs
She
right
is,
now.
yep.
She ain't saying shit.
She dropping bombs.
She just said that you got your sex change, but you want a normal heterosexual relationship. That's
but
impossible.
she said but she's saying you gotta reveal it though.
Right.
You can't just be living you can't be on the fantasy side of the game. I had the surgery, so I'm a woman. No. You got to You have to tell people what you were before you had the surgery.
Right. And like you said, that it's considered non-consensual. Yeah. Like I didn't really consent to having sex with a transsexual person.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a great point.
And it's really like go and research that thread on YouTube. It's called I Didn't Know I Was Transgendered.
He said no.
And I know it's really like just for like human research and observation. It was really interesting to see some of the interactions and just the thought process of people, and reading the comments of what both sides of this conversation has to say, because this does deal with our laws. It deals with this conversation of what fragile masculinity is.
So let me ask you this.
How fragile masculinity is.
Let me ask you this, caller. What do you think of Laverne Cox's statements? Her statement when she said men who are ashamed of dating trans women are insecure as fuck. Is she right or wrong?
Is he right or wrong?
Are they right or wrong?
I don't think that it's right to say that they're ashamed, because we have that term in the closet or out of the closet.
But wait a minute. Let me hit you with another angle to that question.
What?
What if you a dude who knowingly fuck with trans, but don't want to acknowledge that you fuck with trans? Are you then insecure? Is her statement then true?
Then in some aspects, you can say it is. They're considered down low, right? Isn't that what that would be?
To me,
I don't know. You were the one doing the research.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't that be down low?
Yeah.
Right. No, it is. Yeah.
But do they have to disclose that? Like, if they don't want to put their information out, that's what they want to do behind closed doors, is that what do you have to explain to everyone what you do behind closed doors? I remember one friend I had, they always said, who I'm with is who I'm with.
I'm saying they got to disclose before the doors close.
Right.
They got to disclose outdoors.
No, you got to disclose when I say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Yeah, no, when I meet you.
Exactly.
Right.
There you
At
go.
the club, you got to listen. You got to have a gender passport.
Right.
And I need to see it.
Well, like I said, I will go back to that.
Transgenders more than meets the eye.
Right. I need to know right away what is going on.
Something between her thighs.
I will say California is one of the only states actually that has made it like a little easier. But to be completely honest, if you were concerned or you wanted to know, it is very difficult to change your gender specification on identification. So you would just ask to see their ID. It's very hard. I've known. It took one of my friends.
But how many people gonna do that? I'm sitting up and drinking these. I'm drinking this Washington apple. I'm not gonna say, yo, love, let me see your ID.
But I'm just saying, like, literally, we're talking about like we want identification, we want things, but it took one of my friends
mascara
15
or magic
years.
shade, nigga. What is it?
Do you use mascara or magic shade? What are you?
What are you? Let me know what you'll get down here before I put ice in your cup.
Hey, sweetheart, thank you for the call. We appreciate you.
She's smart.
That was good information. Thank you for reaching out.
You can tell she's smart.
Mimi has a little piece of news here.
Yeah. So there was a former Navy sailor, and he was sentenced to 40 years in prison back in 2016 for stabbing his date 119 times.
Yeah,
after learning
that's excessive.
She was a trans, but probably because he probably loved her. And you know what?
He could have stopped at 113.
That's
She lied.
Oh, she lied.
She didn't disclose.
Right.
Yeah, she didn't disclose, and he found out, and then he stabbed her on her.
So there are a few conversations. There are a few conversations that's going on right now.
Right.
One conversation is disclosure.
Right.
The other conversation is
why
the motherfuckers who are out there who really get down with the tranny girls. Because I know it goes both ways.
Oh, yeah.
But I know it goes both ways. Hysterical.
Well, there's a whole market. There's a market of men who like to have sex with trans women.
Disgusting.
Right. I mean,
like, wow.
There's a market.
There's a market
I
for
shop
everything.
at Gelson's.
Yeah, for everything.
Sex phobias for everything.
Right.
So there's a market for men who like to have sex with trans women.
Yes. Which is very.
I don't even switch up my chicken. I just want Popeyes. I don't want nobody switch it up.
No. So yeah, but those are two
This is too
active
much.
conversations. Yeah.
So again, I think it's important because you know what happens?
No, I don't.
Shit that used to be considered crazy now gets a space where, okay, now what used to be considered crazy now comes with rights.
Right.
Or comes with at least the demand to ask for rights. So like when you're listening to the transgender conversation, it's some real heady intellectual shit.
Yes.
Like cissexism. What's that? Cissexism?
I don't know.
Are you talking about cisgender?
Yeah, all that shit.
Cisgender is not confusion. It's just I don't identify and I don't have sex. Like cisgender people are saying like I'm not sexual, like I'm asexual. I'm not attracted to men or women and I don't have sex.
Right. So
you're not attracted to men or women.
Yeah.
You like fucking birds?
Yeah, they're just like uninterested.
Oh, that's impossible.
They're indifferent.
That motherfucker's lying.
Yeah.
Then you get stuff like toxic masculinity.
Never heard of it.
You know?
I mean, they call it machismo in Latino, like in Latin culture. There's been a word for it for decades.
What is that?
Machismo, the over dominance of male masculinity. You know, like or caballero, you know, like a cowboy, like the need to excessively over demonstrate your masculinity.
Your masculinity.
I'm telling you, she make it sound like shit. I think that's a weak person. I mean,
even sexual aggression.
It's like whatever you lack, you have to overcompensate for. If I'm a man, which I am a man, I don't need to come out and announce to the world I'm a fucking man. You know what I'm saying? Like you ever been like get ready to get into a fight and somebody say, I ain't scared of you, Zoe. That motherfucker is scared of you.
Right.
He trying to convince himself that he's not.
He talking to himself.
Yeah, I ain't scared of you, Zoe. I don't have to say that. If it's time to rumble, we just get up in there and may the best man win.
So let's flip it another way. In terms,
this nigga has no facial expression right here. This is
he from the town.
Where you from? North Richmond? South Richmond. Oh shit, cut it.
Hilarious.
See now niggas is friends.
Nigga
Because there's only 3 of us that got out.
There's only he one of them.
There's only 3 of us.
Hilarious.
That's my man. No wonder why.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll talk about that later. Hey, let me shout out Javon Steplight. He dropped $100 on the super chat.
Gotta change his name.
Steplight.
Gotta change it.
Javon Steplight.
Too much.
He steps lightly. Lex Noor, he dropped $20. He says, I don't believe the black community are transphobic. Us dudes just don't want to mess with trans people.
That's it.
Let it alone, period.
That's it.
That's my opinion.
Why we gotta be the victim?
Right.
So, again, let me come back to, that's why I named the show HeMO and SheMO.
Right.
Y'all are surgically modified genders.
Right.
Me as a man, I prefer homegrown, 100% organic cooter.
Right.
That was always cooter.
Right.
Now, when you get it in your mind, I was born this way. This ain't cooter. I got a cooter, but I don't want a cooter.
Right.
I want to swipe. It becomes an ideological thing. And now, dealing with the kids, dealing with the children, that's one thing. But dealing with grown-ass people, that's something else. Because this is when the moral card gets played. The moral card gets played right here. Hey, who you gonna tell how you really feel while you out here in these streets presenting in such a way? To me, it's no different than Rachel Dolezal presenting as a black woman, but really lying.
No, that was a big difference.
No.
Rachel Dolezal didn't have a cock and balls.
But still,
but you're right. People were mad because she was fronting.
Because you're fronting to be a black woman and you're not a black woman.
She just had a good tan.
So the point is, it's about disclosure.
Right. It is about disclosure.
It's about disclosure. That's on that side.
Yeah.
Right? On the other side.
No, but there's a big difference.
What's the difference, John? Let's hear it.
It's a big difference. You can't say.
Let's hear it, Johnny.
First of all,
watch your tone and your delivery.
No. I only say that from a woman. I don't allow them to get out of the line. It's a big difference for her posing to be black than a dude posing to be a woman. It's a big difference.
We know the difference between the two things.
There's no comparison.
But the thing that is similar is the fact that they both should disclose.
Right.
But even in that situation with the Dolezal chick, there was some hints, some clues that she really wasn't black.
What clues?
Sometimes
the pictures, the school pictures when she went to college and shit. there was some evidence to let you know that she wasn't black.
Right, it's true.
But even though what you go back to what you said, I identify
transgender people. There's hints and clues. Those same hints and clues. But do you get there? Most people aren't looking at people's baby photo albums before they fuck.
I'm looking at your throat piece.
So
if you got the same Adam's apples I got,
there's surgery to remove your Adam's apple.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying? Like so.
They done took away the telltale.
A lot of those jokes that we make about that. They're gone. Why do you think men are in these situations? Why do you think the rage happens? Is because they got in it. Why do I think
men are in that situation?
They liked it.
Because that man allowed himself to be in that situation.
You gonna let her talk, Johnny? While she's asking the question?
The reason why men are enraged is that they got in it and they liked it, and then they found out it was something different. That's where the rage comes from.
They liked it.
Right.
But first of all, look at his face.
No,
first of all, I shouldn't even be in that situation.
No, look, again, not liked the transgender person. The experience or whatever they had was they couldn't tell the difference.
You mean
and
if
they find out later? That's what I'm saying. That's where a lot of the rage comes in. Like we was in the thing. He was having Navy SEAL was having a full relationship.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
That was more of a comment.
Let me ask you this. You're the resident professional here. You gotta let me land. You gotta let me do it.
Right.
What if you mean to tell me this experience could be similar to a man, to a person gets raped,
right,
and then that person gets an orgasm from the rape experience? You mean to tell me a heterosexual man,
it's called prison love,
who has sex with a trans person and has an experience like fuck, this motherfucker made me come.
Just
I
imagine
like this
it's probably
shit.
super tight because it's surgically made to be so.
That's disgusting.
You probably enjoyed it, but now you're mad because you enjoyed it. Yes, there's rape victims who have orgasms during rape, and that's the worst feeling to have. It's the absolute, as a 3-time survivor of sexual abuse that has experienced something like that, it is the absolute worst feeling to have. That your body can still physically have a reaction that looks positive, but you're crying and bleeding and bruised. It is the worst. So these men do feel violated. They weren't consensual to whatever was happening. And of course, that's why these rage moments happen. Because, a lot of them, why do you think there's a market for men who like trans women? Because like I said, when it's surgically made to be tight, I bet it's good.
So let me ask you the question.
But I heard it's not as moist. It's not as moist.
I believe that. Lubrication is life.
But it's still not.
How did that person,
your body can't generate lubrication?
It ain't got no seeds.
Right. It can't lubricate itself.
SheMO's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not.
That's probably
I know
like
somebody.
fucking a bag of Doritos.
But I know someone that had that experience.
A lot of dryness and crunching going on.
Right.
Because you can't make your body genetically do that thing. That's like the one thing they can't trigger. So yes, definitely
you're saying the fake dude, the fake woman can't do that. She can't. She can't get moist.
As far as I know, there's no surgery to make you moist.
She can't put a humidifier or nothing up in there.
Humidifier.
Well, actually, there are things. Actually, now that he says that, there are yoni steams. I have 2 friends that own businesses where you can steam your yoni.
A yoni
I see why you're getting divorced.
Yeah,
I would divorce you too. I'm like, what? Bitch?
No,
you know all the answers to Jeopardy. Get the fuck out of my house.
So that's actually weird. That now that I think about it, you probably could, try to moisten it up or whatever. But yeah, I have a friend. She owns a yoni steaming room in Florida. It's a very profitable company because you can steam your yoni to be like cookies. Like she has a cookie wash. It's called cookie wash.
What about just the old school, like Zoe said, the old fashioned vagina? What about just the old fashioned shit? Why we gotta go through all this new shit? And why is this person going through all these extremities? Let's just extreme. Let's just do the regular old fashioned shit. You born a woman, stay a woman. I'm born a man, let's stay a man.
So what about the people that are born with both?
The hermaphrodites.
There's hermaphrodites. And parents at birth choose.
Yeah, but
and what if when your kid's
their
5,
penis
they're
is
like,
not the
this
size of a regular
feel
penis.
Right. Like, well, I don't know. I've never actually met a hermaphrodite.
You haven't had that experience?
Somebody in the chat room called it cottonmouth yoni.
I believe it. It
felt like you fucking a plantation up in this bitch.
Callers, get to the line right now. 323-230-4610. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Speak on it.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's up, man?
Hey, this Q from Baltimore. I'm quitting all one on the chat line.
All right.
Check this out, y'all. So, my mindset with it, as far as the transgender situation, I say, yo, do what you do, but don't try to like force that on, somebody that's like heterosexual that's not really into that. You know what I mean? You don't have to be homophobic necessarily, but as far as like, okay, you just keep it over there, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Check this, right? I got an example. So at my job, right? I'm in a corporate America now, right?
You in
I
it
work
now? You
for,
say I'm corporate America now. What was you before?
Man, I'm from Baltimore.
You know what he was? That motherfucker was on the block. You hear it.
Okay, he
You
was
hear
hugging the
in his
block.
voice.
He was hugging the block.
Absolutely. I had a couple misdemeanors. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get that job, so I had the misdemeanors. I pretty much just did odd jobs, went to school. Once after the 3 years was over, you know what I'm saying? I got the misdemeanors wiped off my record.
Right.
Got my degree. Now I'm here. It's a race. They don't know nothing about it.
That's right.
Congratulations.
So thank you. I appreciate that. So listen, this is how I feel, right? Because at my job, right, it's just one person, right, that we know of that's transgender or transforming. I'll say transforming or whatever they call it, transition or whatever, right? So I'm talking about the whole company was pulled into a meeting. I mean, a separate meeting. So this is a big energy company in Maryland, right? Pulled into a meeting just to discuss this person, right? Now, I know this person, right? Name was Jeffrey. I'm going to say Jeffrey, right? Name was Jeffrey. New name is Lauren. That's a real new name, right? So this motherfucker asshole anyway, right? So it's like,
no pun intended.
They ask you, hell no, pause. but right, they disrespectful anyway. But you see, like, all the utility workers that was in the meeting, like these linemen, right? Super masculine guys, right? As far as working, underground and gas, overhead on electric poles and stuff. So they're listening to HR department, and they saying, oh, you're supposed to address him as her, as Lauren and all this. Now, a couple of them know him, so they slipped up a few times, and they got pulled in HR. But, it's like immediate change that they're asking you to do. You know what I mean? And, like, how do you, like, if you slip up, you slip up. It's not intentional.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean by slip up?
1 minute you got on khakis, next minute you're in a
What
blouse.
he's saying is, like, if you know that this is a transgender person, slipping up for people who are born human, born male or female or
Well,
whatever.
we're just like calling her a him or him or her.
Like you would
That's to
call
be
that if you
expected.
know they're trans. If you accidentally say, "Hey, dude," my bad. I meant.
Okay,
Lauren.
Hey, lady dude. Hey, lady dude.
Right.
Lady dude.
I mean,
dude, lady.
right.
But that shouldn't be no offense. I mean,
him, shim.
I ain't broke no law. I called you by your surname. You a man. But if I did slip up and call you, if you're a girl and if I fucked up, I should be brought into HR for that bullshit.
It's an accident.
I'm talking about these guys getting rolled up. And it's crazy.
Yeah, that's
but,
unfortunate.
Hey,
yeah.
Check this out, right? Check this out too, right? So what do y'all think about this? So all right, bam. So you got the you got transgenders out. I think that's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
So what you think about this? All right, in the rap community, right? Look at these new rappers. Okay, so you got what? Young Thug, you got the little dude Uzi Vert. So they're wearing blouses and dresses now. So
That's
it's
some gay
like
shit right there.
Like where you at with it? Are they like more or less like promoting it more? Like are they saying it's okay to do this? Like because got kids growing up, they can be confused too. You know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna say there's a difference between transgender and cross-dressing. So that particular rapper is obviously cross-dressing for whatever reason he liked to wear that dress.
What would happen if I punched a dude in the dress in the face? Is that domestic violence? I mean, you're still a dude.
Hilarious.
And you said
so
somebody
that's
like.
where it gets tricky because it's like, is it just me punching a dude in the face, or then it comes to where they identify. If that's just a dude in a dress, that's just a dude in a dress. That's you punching a dude in the face. But if it's a dude that's saying he's transitioning now, it's like, is that a hate crime or whatever? And that's where the laws got us really
a hate crime?
crazy.
I don't hate him. I just didn't like what this nigga said. So
I'm
punched
just
him in
saying
the
that's
mouth.
the way the law looks, and that's why things get murky and gray. I'm just letting you know how they consider it when they present this stuff in court.
It's a great point. Reggie, Indiana 76 in the chat room watching the live video feed says it's all gray area now.
I mean,
Right.
Why do they need such special rules? Why I gotta conform my life or what? Why they need all this special shit to happen?
Because there's people who can't use restrooms, and there's people who can't get medical care because.
What was you
know what I
pissing
mean?
at before you got your sex change?
A lot of them don't. That's
you
what I'm
just
saying.
piss at home and just hold it?
If I'm a girl transitioning to be a boy, and I know that my school doesn't have like a gender neutral bathroom, they know it's not safe to go to the bathroom.
Yo, it happened to
right?
me. Tiffany, right?
Yes.
So I'm working on this job as writer's room, and so
Hold on 1 second, caller.
Oh, he's still there. Yeah.
Oh, he's still there?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, caller.
So
yes, sir.
Just 1 second. Let Johnny Mac get this.
So
thought
that
out.
happened to
I'm
me.
gonna
So
come
I'm
right
working
back
on this job, right? And man and women be writers, and when we had to go to the bathroom, they gave us a key. But every time I went to the male bathroom, the key kept being missing. I'm like, who got the key? All the dudes is in here. There was a girl who was transitioning that was taking the key and going to the men's bathroom. And then one day, accidentally, I wait for somebody to come out. Then I went in, and she was in there, and I got mad. I'm like, don't come in this motherfucking bathroom. And she's like, I have the right. I said, no, my dick is out. Now, when I'm taking the shit, or
my dick is offended.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. My dick don't know you.
There's a sexual harassment charge waiting to happen, right?
Well, and that's where these conversations come in.
Right.
So,
That's where these
what was crazy was
like,
the
that exact
showrunner agreed
example.
with me, because what happens if I go to your bathroom?
Well, again, it goes both ways.
And I
I've
gotta
had
take a
teams go
10-pounder,
both ways,
and now
that's
I'm
why
going to
they've
jail.
made gender-neutral bathrooms, because it's like it's one stall,
But-
they're
but
separate,
It wasn't
whatever.
It said men on it. It was men and it was women
No, I'm
bathroom.
saying that's why the conversation of gender-neutral bathrooms have come up for these exact reasons. That's what I'm saying.
Just, why we just can't be regular people? Why all the
Hey,
special
y'all,
shit?
check this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
You gonna
All right,
just
check
bring
this out,
yourself
right?
back in?
I'm about to say,
I-
nigga,
I-
you
I
still
didn't-
at work?
I didn't forget about you.
You still at work? You still
I
working
really,
overtime
I
right
really
now.
didn't forget about you, pimp. But Jesus, go ahead.
Tell us about the Walmart experience.
He butting in like he in the room.
So I'm at Walmart,
Let me
right?
tell you.
I see y'all. I feel like it's been a rough.
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, check this out, though. Hey, and everybody else. Yo, it's crazy how it's getting now, right? Because before, I'm not that old. I'm only 31, right? But before, it was like, you look for the girl. You know, a lot of times they don't got any kids, and you know that's what a lot of people prefer. Now, yo, I'm not messing with a girl that ain't got a kid. Like she got to have at least one.
The kid
I
is
need
proof.
to set
Right,
stars.
the kid.
I need to
is
Yo,
feel it.
no, yo,
That's dope
Yoni is
right
all
there.
homegrown.
And the baby got to look like you.
Right. Right.
If you got a mustache, the baby got to have a mustache too. The baby got to look just like you.
Thanks for the call,
I
caller.
don't know.
Good point.
All right, now.
Hey,
Right.
that was dope though. What's his name?
We're gonna call him Charles.
Charles. That was a good one, Charles.
Because I don't remember. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
He was
I'm
just
looking for
on.
people with kids.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
we're gonna take a quick music break.
Yeah.
We'll be back. This is just a quick music break, just because this is a heavy topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I got a whole bunch of questions. If you've just tuned in to the Voice of Reason,
They all standing right there.
Christ, because they're watching the Dodger game. Dodgers are down 2
Already?
already.
He said already.
Damn.
But you know the game is gonna be 8 hours long, so they'll catch
Right.
up. Anyway.
Yeah, this is the greatest World Series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's very competitive. Nobody is a favorite right now.
That's true.
If you're just tuning into today's topic, Jesus Christ, Transformers,
Niggas with dicks trying to trick.
HeMO's, SheMO's, a more in-depth look at the transgender revolution. Should heterosexual men view transsexual women as real women? We'll be back at 2.2. We're going to just take a quick music break. I'm going to holla in a second.
Tuck them nuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason. Famous for its topics. Famous for crossing the line. Having discussions that many are afraid to tackle.
Right.
Not here. You talk about intersectionality. We're going to bring intellect, wisdom, religious, cultural, comedy.
Should have said comedy first.
Insult artists. Johnny Mack is one of the greatest insult artists
In the house. Renowned.
I'm on like 2 competitions. Swear to God.
This is what he does.
I believe you.
And we're very excited to have tonight's topic because it all started from an actress, Laverne Cox.
Gotta change the name.
I'm a huge fan. I'm
From,
such a big fan.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She had a point.
He had a point.
He had a point. Well,
Right.
you're confused here. I see weave and eyeshadows and all types of things. So, look, you feel me? He had a point, basically saying men who are ashamed of dating trans women are insecure as fuck. I would tend to agree based on the men who fuck with trans.
Right.
True, that part too.
They're in the closet.
That's where it's true.
Right.
But you're right about the clickbait and how they could snatch a piece and flip it in a way to make it seem as if she's speaking to all men.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, the average heterosexual man is not trying to fuck,
ain't with it,
or fuck with diet women. Let me tell you one of my pet peeves.
Right.
Let me tell you diet women. Let me tell you one of my pet peeves about the trans people and homosexuals and all of that. Listen, don't out females.
Oh, I hate
it's
that.
almost like they're in competition with you on trying to be more feminine than you, and it comes across as fake.
Right.
Flamboyant.
Right.
This is why we're looking at you like, even women ain't that flamboyant.
Right.
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 Well,
And even the
go ahead.
even the men do the same. I mean, the women that want to be men, they do the same thing. The ones that put on the white tees,
They
and the
be
khakis,
hyper-masculine.
and they looking around. They, they want to really let it be known they about that
Until
business.
it's time to get that ass
You
beat.
know what I mean? And they looking
don't
like
run
they
up
want
on my
some.
girl, nigga.
This my girl. You looking? Where you from, fool? You feel me? Like, what is really going on?
And then you get into an altercation with them, like she said, now it's a hate crime.
Right. But,
And I personally believe that nobody should be up in my face talking bullshit if they ain't with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This gonna sound fucked up, but in the state
Maybe
of California, it's the law says I have a right to defend myself against an assault.
Right.
And a battery. So even if Tiffany decides to slap the shit out of me, I have a right
to defend yourself.
Right.
To defend myself.
Absolutely.
So when the lady dudes or the lesbians, they be in your face with the fucking camouflage wife beaters on, and like Joe said, why you holler at my girl, nigga? Because she's a girl. That's why I'm hollering at her. That's why
I was made to
I'm supposed to do that. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And they get all up on you. And then I didn't actually hit the person. I just smushed them in the fucking face.
You mushed them.
And then I did throw them against the craft service table. But
Hilarious.
we talk about that later. But I'm allowed to do that. That's the law. When you say, and my man, he's from Richmond. I got the whole Richmond mentality. When you say I'm gonna beat your ass, that takes on a whole different dynamic. I
Right.
believe you when you
Right.
say I'm gonna beat your ass.
But that's
Right.
not a hate crime. That is not a hate crime. The hate crime is if you sought someone out to assault them specifically because
Right.
they're whatever.
If you're
But
So
the
these
court
are
ain't
two
gonna look
different
at that. The
things.
court gonna
Yeah.
look at me
No,
fighting
it
a
is.
lesbian.
Like,
Okay, so
um,
if you're a trans hunter or
A
a
what?
gay hunter, you're
Right.
you're out hunting these motherfuckers.
Right, and fucking them
to
up when
do-
you see 'em.
To do foul shit.
Right.
That's
What's wrong with that?
Right.
Why? Why is that wrong?
Because they're human beings.
Allegedly.
So-
They're allowed to just live life.
Yeah,
As long as I'm
they're
fucking
allowed
with you,
to
leave me
live.
alone.
They're allowed to live, but here's the gray area. They start punking the civil rights side of the game.
I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that.
When in fact there are a lot of dark-sided Sith homosexual LGBTQ LB ABCDEFG
Elemental P, yeah.
all of them. There's some dark-sided motherfuckers on that side of the game too, i.e. the ones who don't disclose,
Right.
the ones who are out here raping
Right.
niggas
Right.
Raping heterosexuals by not telling the truth.
Right. Giving them
Why do you
special
call that
drinks.
raping? I don't understand.
Tell them why,
Rape
Tiff.
is when you are engaged in sexual activity that's non-consensual. Just because you're, just
I know
because
what rape is, but
culturally, because we're uncomfortable with the word rape, doesn't actually mean that it's not. These men, if you are engaged in sexual activity with a trans person and you do not know they're transgender, that would be considered rape. You were just engaged in non-consensual sexual activity.
So the transformer is raping the regular
straight dude because
they
didn't
not
tell him.
straight. But, so the trans
Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Like your identification as heterosexual is in regards to gender. So if you are thinking you're having sex with someone of the opposite gender, period, you're still heterosexual.
Right.
Just because you feel a certain kind of way, that's a whole nother conversation.
Johnny, no.
But this person isn't gay just because I accidentally had sex with a transgender person. You accidentally had sex with a transgender person. There, as much as we'd love to think we all have a certain kind of, like we all think we have gaydar, we all have or whatever, some of these people are so transitioned you really don't know. And that's why the rage moments really happen. I really didn't know. Now I know, and I'm pissed.
No, I'm not
and
pissed. I'm beyond pissed.
I get it because you are violated, like she was talking about. You just non-consensually engaged in something. You feel
why
violated.
do you call it rape though? I don't get
because
the rape
it's non-consensual. That's rape. The definition of rape is non-consensual sex. Period.
Right.
I did not consent to having sex with a trans woman or a trans man.
And honestly, if we had better attorneys, they would be actually able to probably help these men.
Seconds.
Right.
If we had better attorneys that were more versed in this topic, they would be better able to defend these men. Now, no, I don't think
what men?
The men that have had rage moments and killed these women. Like this is like
these.
But it's like
transgender people.
I don't know in California, but I know like in Texas, like say if I came in and say I was married to you or you was my girlfriend, whatever, and I came in and you was sleeping with somebody else, sleeping with another dude, if I kill both of you,
it's called a crime of passion or a crime
if
of
I kill
rage.
both of y'all, I'm good. But if I kill him and not you, then I'm gonna go to prison because I was thinking.
Right.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if when the dude
street
found
lawyer.
out,
street lawyer.
Thank you. When the dude found out that you wasn't a girl, he gonna flip.
Right.
No, right. And I'm saying that is like that's something that happens neurologically in our brain. That is what happens. But again, we are trying to change the iteration so it's not likely to happen. Like we get maybe you punch them in the face, maybe you slap them, but stabbing someone 116 times, like that again, you get tired at about 30. It takes a lot of physical effort to stab somebody.
Maybe he's recovering from Tommy John surgery. He just kept just trying to see if his shoulder worked. You never know.
But that's because
we don't know what that brother.
But I understand because again, I've been a survivor, 3-time survivor of rape. I do understand that a flip switches, like as the switch flips, and I can get where you would want to stab somebody 116 times.
On the blackout.
Yeah, your brain really does it just blitzes out. It literally does black out to protect itself. So
hey, I've never been in a rape situation, but sometimes Zoe been on me for years. Sometimes my mind just flips out. when I get angry, mad, I can't think straight. All I can think about is war.
Okay.
If you say or do something to me, I'm 5'9", 190. I'm not this is a big dude right here. I'm not an imposing figure, but I pack a hell of a punch.
Right.
When I get to the point where you disrespect me or whatever the case might have been, and I'm angry, I got tunnel vision. All I can see is whooping this nigga's ass.
Right.
So you gotta imagine what this dude is going through when he thought he just macked this chick on out, and she came to the room or whatever, and they got down, and it turned out to be a dude.
Right.
No, again,
I don't think that's against the law.
understand.
I think he should be allowed to, hit her with 117, 119 stab
No,
wounds.
like there has to be a law against murder, period, because we're not encouraging it. But I understand when it happens. But this is another reason why when I work with youth, especially trans youth, this is part of the conversation.
How did you get that job?
Well, I was a high school social worker, and these are things that come up with young people. So you got to be prepared to come up, to roll with the punches.
You didn't want that job?
So, no, I don't. That's
go.
terrible. So, anyways, but
let
in
me
regards,
get some of these callers.
Oh yeah,
Can
but I
do
was
that?
gonna say in regards to working with youth is teaching them about healthy relationships. Don't engage consenting. You have to disclose. Like those are conversations that I teach young people.
If
Just
you're
like
going
we
out with
should
a transgender,
teach
it's not gonna be healthy.
heterosexual kids.
It's not a healthy relationship.
Wait a minute. Before I go to the callers, Johnny, expound on that. What?
If you mess with transgender, it's not going to be a healthy relationship.
Go deeper.
Hopefully I won't. No, but it's just you can't have a hate if it's not a man and woman. It can't be healthy. It's going to be toxic. It's going to be when I'm gonna quote my mother, but she didn't know she was making a joke, but I made it into a joke.
Shit! Stop making your mother's wisdoms into jokes.
She did. She's like, if you're a transgender, you're a gay person, you don't think straight. You thinking what you doing is cool. It's actually in the Bible.
That's from the South. You're not thinking straight.
You're not thinking straight.
Come here now. Let me
you
talk
think
to you.
Right. Come on, have a seat. Want a cup of tea?
You're not thinking straight.
You thinking
Cream,
you and some
sugar.
dudes bumping mustaches. You think that is normal. So right then, it's never going to be right. And that's another thing. Whenever you go wrong, it's no matter. Malcolm X has said this. There can never be justice in a stolen land. We stole America from the Indians, and we stole the black people to build America.
I thought
it's
Chuck
never
D
going to
said that.
No.
I'm just fucking.
Oh, Malcolm X. But it's when you transgender or you're homosexual, whatever case your situation is, it's never gonna be right. It can't be right.
So callers, we want to hear your opinion. True or false? Trans women are
I know
not.
you hate me right now, don't you?
No, I
give
don't.
up.
Like I said, your opinions, but I hear often.
No, you don't.
You guys are just
ain't
talking.
nobody just.
Wait, sorry, though. Please invite the caller in.
You guys
I'm
want to
so
talk
sorry.
through my setup? Okay, cool.
Thank
teaching
you.
GED students.
This is some foxhole shit.
You're right. That's how we all started, though.
This is how we did it. Foxhole started all this shit.
Exactly.
That's right.
Let's just do that right now. Every
Foxhole.
form of it, Foxhole started it.
All of it.
Everybody that's doing it right now at a high level, Foxhole started.
We started.
That's right.
It's what we did.
You didn't even know that, did you?
Grow up one day, son.
That's right.
We over here some old niggas talking. Okay. True or false? Trans women are not biologically male. That's a big argument.
Say that again.
This is that whole argument of when somebody has the surgery and they're post-op, you can't refer to them as women or men anymore. Like, for instance, say Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
Bruce.
Everybody's like, call her Caitlyn. Call her her. Call her her. Like, wait a minute. She is the father of 3 kids.
Right. Right.
How does that work?
If he didn't want to be a man no more, why did he get him gold medals back?
Exactly.
He kept all the gold medals.
Right.
Exactly.
Did they take him off the Wheaties box?
He's still on the Wheaties box.
That's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
motherfucker's lying.
True or false?
Hilarious.
Trans women are not biologically male. I had the surgery. My mindset.
You confused too, buddy, right?
Well,
My swipe is now a pipe.
those is pushing to be very technical because, again, gender refers to genitalia. So how we refer to gender as genitalia, once you change your genitalia, you have technically, in the realm of how we operate, changed your gender. Now, does that mean have you changed your chromosomes? No. So, yeah.
No.
But biologically speaking, how we speak of gender, once you've changed your genitalia, you have changed your gender.
But you still
But you have not changed your chromosomes. You are correct.
But here's the thing. Caitlyn
can still bench press 250.
Caitlyn is some kid's grandfather.
Exactly.
Right.
We got it.
You got fucking children.
Right.
You
And
get a
whether they
mother
know
and a
that-
Father's Day card. What kind of shit is this?
Get a mother and
Right.
a Father's Day.
That's just some greedy shit right there.
And honestly, and whether
It's a
he
new kind of bisexual.
Well, I'm sure she would prefer to just get a Mother's Day card or nothing.
But you're not a mother. He didn't birth those children.
Again, but my whole stance, because I'm just like, I'm going to respect you how you present yourself, is if you want to be called a she, be a she.
Did you see that motherfucker on the ESPYs? That looked stupid.
I mean, that was
They gave
even
him Woman
I'm
of the Year
liberal,
award.
and
He
even
ain't
that
been
was
a
a little
woman for a year.
confusing to me because there's so many. That was a little confusing to me.
You just
So,
went
yeah.
over my joke. It's okay.
Did you hear his
Hilarious.
She just fucked it all
They
up.
gave him the Woman of the Year award, and he wasn't even a woman for a year.
No, it's true.
Right.
Though. It's not even a joke.
Hilarious.
That's facts.
It's
It's
like,
facts.
was you with that?
Hilarious.
No, I was actually very confused because I'm like, well, actually, there are women athletes that deserve this way more right
It was
now.
a woman that had ran the Boston Marathon, and and when they blew it up or whatever, and she lost a leg, right?
Right.
And then she went back and ran it the following year.
Yeah.
That motherfucker didn't win. This
That's why
motherfucker.
I'm saying I personally even was
The
very
dude with
confused.
nipples and nuts, he won.
But then again, remember, we live in an
Nipples
age
and
not
nuts.
of makes sense, but We want ratings and clicks. So for the ESPYs, do you not think that got some of the largest clicks and ratings? It wasn't about being respectful to women or men for them.
I thought that fucked it all up.
It was about getting clicks and ratings.
Right.
Well, we do got to get numbers.
So let's do this. Let's get some callers in here right now. Caller.
Transgender, call in.
You're on the Voice of Reason.
Hilarious.
It's your time to shine. Speak on it.
This is Jazzy.
Hey, Jazzy. What's happening, boo thing?
Hey, baby. How's it going?
You sound delicious. Are you?
It sounds like she's drinking cough syrup. Are you lackadaisical? Perk up.
You know what? And I'm from the land of the H where the cough syrup exists.
Well,
right.
Out of drinking.
You sound like a grown woman right here. What's happening, baby boo?
Okay. So I'm going to stick to the question at hand. Men that date transgenders, they don't want to. They're ashamed of it or whatever they're saying. I mean, what was the original question?
I don't know. You
that
called
they
us.
don't want to admit it.
Again, there's two through lines going in this conversation.
Right.
One
the
is
whole thing is that they're ashamed because they're doing something.
You want me to frame
behind.
it for you so you can know what we're talking about, though?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right.
Apparently you don't. You just said to ask the question again.
They're ashamed, like the lady was saying, that they're ashamed of what they're doing because they're doing something behind closed doors and they don't want to bring it to light. It's not that they're weak or anything. They're ashamed of what they're doing. You know, either you're going to go this way or you're going to go that way. You can't straddle the fence. You know, I mean, if that's the lifestyle that you're about, then hey, that's what I'm about. But you don't have to bring it out into the light of everyone.
Wow.
If that's what you want to do behind closed doors, then that's your preference. That's your sexual preference.
So even behind closed doors is a sexual preference.
I'm gonna say
it's a sexual, but
I was gonna tag on to you, sweetheart. They're ashamed because they're doing something wrong.
exactly.
Boom.
You know, but the flip side of that is that if you're gonna go that way, go that way. That's how come we have all these damn diseases out here because like you want to do this shit behind closed doors and not admit that's what you're doing, then you want to go around and go mess with a female.
Listen,
because, you know, like.
Let me just say this. What's your name again, honey?
Jazzy.
Jazzy. Okay.
Jazzy.
Somebody in the chat room asked me to pump my brakes.
Ooh.
Because they said you need to ask her what her gender is before you holler at her like that.
I'm a female with 5 children.
5 children.
Okay, cool. They all
Damn.
came. They all came out of your.
You got a minor league soccer team going on over there.
Hilarious.
I do. I have a little army over here. You know what I'm saying? They all
Okay.
came out of my stomach.
Are you married?
I didn't have them.
The Atlanta Hawks need a bench.
They all the way on their bench is on her couch.
Johnny motherfucking Mack.
Hilarious.
Somebody in the chat room said, "Are they yours?"
Right.
Yes,
Follow-up
they
question.
Are mine.
They're not
yes,
adopted.
They're mine. They're mine.
They came out of your canal.
They came out of my they came out of my uterus. I had a cesarean. My vagina was the same as when I was 16.
Cool. So you didn't kept your little yoni box
Ain't nothing wrong with a
intact.
cesarean,
Right.
sweetheart. That's all
Fucked
good.
up that abdomen.
You can get a cesarean and a tummy tuck at the same time. He's already in
No,
there.
I didn't get a tummy. No.
You might going to get the lipo.
Everything. No lipo. Everything bounced back right. I have good genes.
Hey, so why don't you just DM me some
I guess
pictures?
taking off your jeans is how you got all those goddamn
Hilarious.
I'm about to say, what's your goddamn
Cesarean
Instagram?
style.
Let me take a gander at your Instagram page.
Gander at your goose, baby.
Let me take a gander. Because I'm single and I come to Atlanta all the time.
You can find me at Jazzy Styles.
I'm gonna look up Jazzy Styles right
Look
now.
up Jazzy Style. You better be
Okay.
fine too. You better be fine.
Girl, okay.
Now, you done took us through this slow ass talking. You better be fine as shit. Now, I demand that you be attractive.
All right. So did you finish your point?
But no, the whole thing is that, rephrase your question for me one more time.
Which one, Jazzy Styles? It's like 19 Jazzy Styles.
The original topic.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you right now what the topic is, because Johnny Mack is on his own right now. This is classic Johnny Mack. I knew what to expect when he came.
You told me to come down and be Johnny Mack. That's what
Johnny
you said.
Mack. That's what's up.
And that's what you do.
That's what he does. This is what he does. So take it or leave it, goddammit.
Right.
True or false? Trans women are not biologically male.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Obviously, come on.
What are
They don't have fallopian tubes. They're somebody who wants to be us. They can't make children. They can't carry a baby in their womb. You know, they want to be something that they're not. I'm not homophobic. I don't have any, because I have a girlfriend who has a son that's gay. He's not trans, but that's his choice. And like, do I agree with that lifestyle? No, I do not. But do I hate him? No. I mean, I love him to death. I watch him from a kid grow up. So when I see him, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Craig to death. However, his choice of life is his choice of life.
So let me run this to Tiffany. Tiffany, you've worked with the children. So, okay, we talking about the adults right now.
Right.
You know, and motherfuckers playing makeup. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I promise you.
Well, why not? Be
But
disrespectful.
when it comes to the children, Tiff, you can see a confused child or an asexual child or a trans child. It's a little girl biologically, but she presents as a boy. Explain that. What is that?
So one thing that people really need to start thinking about is how strongly we gender norm our kids. It starts at the hospital with blue and pink blankets. So we make it very clear at a very early age what male and female norms are. And so it's actually easier when they're younger to say,
I want you to slow down. And I want you to come back. And I want you to give the definition of gender norming.
Gender norming is those stereotypical things that we call male or female. So like blue is boy, pink is girl.
Yeah.
Right? So there's even if you go to Target and we have separated toys, boy aisles, girl aisles, pink shit, blue shit. Like we do it very, very strategically, very, you know, and so even if someone, like a lot of my more progressive cousins are
You say something's wrong with that?
No, but it's very distinct. So it's easier for children to realize when they're not fitting or feeling gender norms at an early age if they are trans, because they realize right away those things society are showing me are gender normative don't fit me. And it becomes very clear very early for a lot of these children.
How does a child know, you know, like I have children. How did that child know this doesn't fit me? You 2, 3, 4 years old. You don't know what the fuck. I was 5 years old. I thought I wanted to be a horse. We had family day. My brother want to be a fireman. My other brother want to be a policeman. What about you, little Johnny? I want to be a horse, mama. He's strong and fast. So now, all of a sudden, now you're 15.
Nigga want to be a Mustang.
Right.
I would say, I really would encourage
saying?
you. The documentary is very short and it's very well put together to help articulate it and show you some of these children from when they're young to as they get older, and how these parents have, you know, some are supportive and they're letting their kids, you know, identify how they're preferring, and some don't. They fight them. I would just say be open-minded and watch the T word so you can see it.
Let me come back to this.
Yeah.
Never gonna do that.
Is it wrong? Check me on this because I'm ignorant.
You are.
Is it wrong to see them as kind of like actors, like it's make-believe? Because if you look at just some basic shit, this is basic shit. Do trannies have ovaries?
No, transsexual people do not have ovaries or fallopian
Can they
tubes
get
or uteruses.
can they get you pregnant, or can they?
No.
They
Can they
cannot
get
get
Do
you
they have a
pregnant.
cycle?
No, they cannot get you pregnant, and that's one of the things where I'm like, it's okay to not want to be sexually in a relationship with a trans person. My best friend says the same thing. We're both very much like have transsexual friends who are all about that. She's like, but I wouldn't date a trans male because I might still want to have kids. That doesn't make me transphobic. That just makes me know what I want in life. There's a difference.
But what if I was transphobic? Is that wrong if I am?
Yeah, it's a preference.
I don't want to hang out with them motherfuckers.
But weirdly enough, you said that, Zoe, you can actually now, part of transitioning is they can get uteruses.
What the fuck?
What?
That's a new thing. They're not going to get fallopian tubes and ovaries, but they can actually now, it's like new technology, but actually
What
get
is
a
this,
uterus.
like a lamb uterus or a pig uterus or something?
Right, somebody
A cadaver or something?
It was interesting you say that because women,
pussy.
because women for
pussy.
about
Right,
10
right.
years have been able to get uterus constructive
Somebody else's
surgery.
pussy.
Yeah, so like there has been like uterine
shit is
uterine
weird.
reconstruction and stuff for women who have like survived cancer, who try to have kids. Like that's new technology. It came from that technology, from trying to help, born at birth biological women help with their stuff, and it just has carried over to trans surgeries.
It's too much.
This shit is getting crazy. Caller, save us from this discussion in this room. Where are you calling from?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Speak on it. Caller.
Hey, what's going on?
What's that, pimp?
What's up, player?
What's up?
What's happening, Mrs. Joe? How y'all doing?
This is you know who this is.
Who is
Hey, that be me, man.
I'ma say this. This nigga
about to get wild.
He gonna say this 32 times before he get off the phone. I'ma say this.
I want to say this, man. I want to say this real quick, if I've ever been quick. This is some new age bullshit. And Zoe, I want to be totally honest with you, man. You took my example right from my brain. And this is just who I was going to talk about, Bruce Jenner. It's been about a year ago. I was on Twitter. I since been kicked off Twitter about 7 times since then.
Hilarious.
Hey, I like that. Hey, I like you don't give up.
Right, fuck them.
Yeah, man, I go in. But I want to say this. I was talking, having a conversation with someone. I said that dude's name ain't Caitlin. That dude's name is Bruce. Right. And as I was talking, he chimed in, and I got a tweet from him and said, he just put one word, Caitlin. And I kindly responded back to him. I said, man, your mama called you Bruce. I'm going to call you Bruce. I said, secondly, they can sew a pussy all up and down your legs, all in your back, carve them in your forehead. You would never, ever.
It's a lot of pussy.
Ever be no broad.
That's true.
Regardless of how many surgeries you have.
That's true.
What they do to you, like I said, you can carve a pussy up under your armpit, or in your armpit, in your navel, in your stomach. You'll never be nothing but.
Might fuck up your deodorant, but other than that.
Yeah.
Deodorant in the pussy, that's dry.
Man,
That's fucked up.
Hilarious.
Go ahead, player.
I'm gonna say this. Wrap it up.
Yes, sir. This is new age bullshit. Textbook mental illness, man. This is a mentally ill, dumbed down society.
That's true.
Yep.
Who feel like just because they say something or something, it makes it that. It's all bullshit, man. And dudes who are going through that, and dudes that get tricked by these dudes and they end up getting in the business, so they're no longer with us. I salute y'all. I feel sorry for you that you got tricked, but you done the world a service. Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
So what time you going to church in the morning?
That's too much.
This nigga right here.
Mack.
Hey, but you know what? It's true though. I put it like this, and no, I'm not trying to tell a joke. It's like if you transition to be from a woman to a man or from a man to a woman, you got to deal with the consequences. Everybody's not gonna like it. You can't get mad at me for accepting or not accepting what you chose to do. You got to live with that. You know what I'm saying?
And most of them do. We've talked about it before. You
know
actually have to be diagnosed with a mental health disorder to
I'm a
have
motherfucking
transition
ex-con.
surgery.
I can't get
So we
mad
treated it
at
as such.
IBM wouldn't hire me. I mean, that's just, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? When you did that, whatever you did, your bed and whatever happened, you can't get mad at society because you got to go fill out an application to ask you if you're convicted of a felony.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to say, yeah, I did it. And if they don't hire you, you can't get mad at the company.
Right. And look, on that job application, you got to give your race and your gender.
Actually, you don't have to. It's optional because by law they're not allowed to actually ask you.
I know.
So you can just
I know,
opt
but
to
it's
not
on
fill out
the
the
application,
box.
though. That shit's on the application.
Right. It's on the application.
And this is me coming back to my point. This is the reason why I'm highlighting this.
You goddamn right, so.
Should transgender people have to?
Yeah.
Should it be made mandatory? Why?
Yeah.
To who though?
Let me
Who
tell
are
you.
we disclosing to?
To
Should it be
everybody.
mandatory?
You're disclosing to everybody you work with at the job.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because of inner office relationships that develop organically.
Well, first and foremost, a lot of jobs discourage that. So to say I'm going to require you to disclose your previous and current gender and your sexual orientation, that actually violates most all HR laws that currently stand in law.
And I know that. But what I'm saying is,
they got too many rules
but
for this
wouldn't
shit.
that circumvent the surprise I dated a guy situation?
But then it might trigger hate crimes in the workplace. So they're trying to again.
It's a catch-22.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
There's a trade-off.
Right.
But again, maybe there's gender sensitivity classes for these jobs.
Well,
It's too much. Just stay a goddamn woman.
What happens is a lot when people do transition is they tend to really relocate to help with this, right? So you don't have to deal with the you're calling me a he
So you
and a
can
her
hide.
or whatever. Not to hide, but just like he's saying, I don't want 82 people getting written up by HR because you slipped up, because it's gonna happen. Like
Right.
I worked with you for 5 years and you were him and now you're her. That's a hard transition, even for parents with transitioning kids and family members and all of that
So
stuff.
I get written up for telling the truth?
And the thing is, so it's difficult. That's why I said it's unfortunate in that job. If they were truly sensitive, they wouldn't be writing up those men for that difficulty. It's hard to do the transition. So a lot of those people relocate
But what
just to help
happens
the
if it
transition.
goes bad?
What
Like,
goes
what if
bad?
it goes bad? Like a natural. What if the CEO? Because you know there's undercurrent of discrimination there.
Right.
Sexism. Right.
Right.
So what happens if the CEO starts liking the trans woman who just got the gig, and he pressing and he's serious? The trans doesn't disclose.
Well, okay, the whole thing is you're supposed to be disclosing when it's like a relationship, right? So whether it's
But there's a lot of
like
motherfuckers
before
ain't
your
disclosing.
first date, you should be disclosing. Like I'm not anti-disclosure and everything should be consensual. I'm always about that, period. Communication, disclosure, consent is the requirement, period. But telling all your stuff to everybody in the workplace, nah, because
You tell
we
everything
wouldn't all
else on
agree
your
about
fucking
that. You know what I mean?
Instagram
Like we wouldn't
page.
all.
Tell that.
We wouldn't. Anytime you ostracize a group of people just because you don't like or agree with their lifestyle, that's exactly what it is. So now, if we're going to mandate them, we have to mandate everybody about all the other areas as well.
Like
Okay, now
whatever.
we have to disclose if we have kids, so employers don't have to hire you because they don't want to have to worry about you having more sick days. We got to disclose, if you've had abortions, because you might cost our insurance premiums more money. Like how, if we require them to disclose certain things, we're going to have to require other people to disclose other things.
Nice.
I'm not gonna agree with that. I mean, this motherfucker's in the bathroom.
But again-
I'm on my way to the bathroom and the lady dude is in there. Now, goddamn it, I need some disclosure.
I will say a majority of transsexual people actually just don't use public restrooms.
You gotta.
A lot of my students actually would come in with like bladder infections, urinary infections because they're holding it all day and they're not drinking water. Now they're dehydrated. They have medical issues. A lot of them end up having kidney and liver problems because they're not using the restroom and drinking enough water.
Well, that's just dumb.
It's a problem because they're not trying to go in the bathroom and be found out and then risk having an altercation. So now
Well,
they're just not
hey,
using
they
the
should-
restroom. They're not changing for gym class. They're failing gym class.
and
Great time to wear
that
Pampers.
kind of stuff.
A great time to wear.
Hilarious.
And let me just acknowledge this. Humanity is pretty dumb. We're seeing examples of the ignorance of humanity as it pertains to racism.
Right.
So I know sexism is some other shit.
Right.
So all off tops, a motherfucker could be triggered. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
This motherfucker is a badass Halle Berry type thing at the urinal.
But instead, it was rerun Berry.
Right. But you know what? The thing is, can you imagine, are you dating somebody and
No, I
I
can't.
met this girl, she hot, I'm falling for her.
No.
Woo, woo, woo. You telling all the details of how excited you are to be with this person. And then you find out after you're in love or you're infatuated, whatever the fuck it is, and you have sex, whatever the case may be. And then you find out that makes you want to go certain places because it's like the disrespect. You know what I mean? Like, you
No,
didn't
I
let
don't
me
want to
know.
be with no dude.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the disrespect. Like, you should have let
It's
me
too much.
know.
Shit,
Don't
the
you?
crying game came from the lion game.
Right.
Right.
No, again,
And-
I'm
and
in agreement with.
I
I'm
just
in
feel-
agreement with the disclosure part. Like, I don't argue that at
was
all.
funny.
Like, well, they need to disclose when it comes to
Yes.
relationships, but to the world, again, there's a lot of things we're not all trying to tell the world about ourselves.
But you
Well,
tell
no.
everything else, you fucking go have a fucking meal at Bo and you Snapchat that shit.
How about it?
And you
Go
you-
ahead, Johnny.
You got some brand new shoes that you had to put on layaway, and the heel ain't true. You put that on your fucking Instagram. You went out to a fucking party. You got that on Instagram. Why don't you put all? You gonna put all
But
your
here's
shit
the thing,
out?
The
Put
average
that shit out.
person, the average person isn't going to work saying how many people they've had sex with.
I do it
what
all the
their
time.
Former, again, the average person
I do it all
isn't
the time.
going to work talking about how
My
many sexual
goddamn
partners
email
they have
address is
and who they have sex
IFUX
with.
to date. I let you
You
know
know
what's
what I mean?
happening.
Like, so again, in regards to consensual sex, having relationships, yes, you need to consent, you need to disclose. But in regards to some of these other things, like, man,
But that's what I'm saying.
but you know what?
You're disclosing everything else though. You putting everything
you want me to
else
answer
out
the
there.
caller?
God damn
Let's
it.
try it.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to him.
Oh, was the caller on? I didn't know he pressed the caller
Oh,
already.
you don't know how to do it yet? Okay,
No.
caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you're
No, I
calling
was like,
from?
you cued me. You're just pointing. I'm like, what's happening?
Caller?
My name is Miko, and I'm from Fresno.
So
Okay, Miko from Fresno. My son is up there.
Hey.
he gonna drop out in 2
Oh, he
weeks.
play. Your son's up here playing for Fresno State Bulldogs.
The basketball, yeah.
Yeah, I played ball growing up, and so for sure we're gonna go check out the boys and see what they bring in this season.
Whoa.
So we'll check out your son. What number is he?
Number 0.
Number 0. Okay, we'll check him out for sure.
All right,
That is so real.
So what's your gender?
About this whole transgender thing, though, the whole transgender, I feel like it needs to be full disclosure because I want to know who I'm dealing with. Because some of y'all, I know what you are when I see you because you're not me. I'm a woman throughout. I'm that pure. And so I recognize, and so some of y'all, some of them are hella bad, though. Some of them look good. I got a cousin that looks good. I mean, he's a beautiful woman, and he would be a fine-ass nigga if he would be in his right position. But regardless of that, I want to know who I'm talking to because women, we talk. We get personal, maybe not on the initial meeting, but eventually we talk about things. We talk about our pussies. Let's keep it real.
You talk about your pussy?
You can't talk to me about my pussy, or if we get to talking about sex and we really get into it, bitch, you can't tell me really about like receiving no dick because you really ain't got no pussy. You got some man-made shit that done got slapped together. I'm working with that pure.
Right.
That's like Whitney said that she didn't smoke crack. Whitney said she was smoking cocaine. I got that cocaine, not that crack.
That's right.
Ain't nothing mixed in with this. So even on a spiritual level, you can't relate to me because I'm a woman.
Right.
You want to be me.
That's a good point.
So on the for real, you really fucked up in the head, and I feel bad for you because I couldn't imagine trying to be a man. I can step into a little bit of masculinity when I need to. Like, for example, on the court, when I'm playing ball, I'm hell of aggressive. That's when I get to let that masculinity out.
Right.
But I'm all woman. And that's even growing up in a house with 4 brothers and a daddy, and me and my mama the only women. She raised me to be a woman. I know my position with man and with myself, so I'm like, you don't even know what you're doing with your own being. You try, I don't know. I just think it's so far out, and I feel bad for him. So there's a level of compassion and empathy with the journey you're going through, but at the same time, there's a level of like, bitch, you can never be me.
You goddamn right. She can never be you, baby.
Hey, thank you for the call. Shit, I might have to hook up with you when I get up.
I can see she was aggressive. I got a motherfucking pussy. Oh my god.
That pussy real, nigga.
She put an H in there.
That's kind of like that cisism because that's kind of like where women, they feel some kind of way when they see other women trying to be women. You know what I mean? They're putting on the extra with it. It's like the opposite of having the phobia. It's the same, but it's from a woman's perspective.
So earlier today, we asked Tiffany for the definition of cissexism.
Oh, were we talking about cissexism? Oh, I probably gave you the wrong definition then.
Yes.
Cissexism and cisgender is different. Yeah, so give us the right definition. My bad.
Cissexism.
was wrong.
Cis, as in sissy.
Right.
Sexism. Cissexism. And no disrespect, we're sorry. The definition is a noun. It's prejudice or discrimination against transgender people. Prejudice.
Yeah.
Like that word just bothers me. Like,
right. I don't like that.
Because of the social, the civil rights and all of that. I think they just piggyback off of our movement. Not to say.
But they wasn't prejudiced. They were racist. Okay. I can be prejudiced, but I can't be a racist.
I love it, Johnny Mack.
Well, yeah, they're different, and he's right.
I'm always right, sweetheart.
But no, not always.
I'm always right.
Okay, we're going to have a Bible discussion. Okay, cool. Discrimination against transgender people. So with that, like, damn. Like, that was my point earlier with the CEO.
But what do you mean by discrimination?
Like, for instance, if the CEO doesn't know, right? The CEO doesn't know that this was a dude before. To him, beautiful woman. And you know how men in power are.
Right.
Who is the new girl we hired? Yep. Baddie. Don't act like,
that
inner office relationships don't go down. Say he tried to get at her. She let him. Don't tell him.
Right.
He get the motherfucking orgasm of a lifetime fucking around with. And then he finds out later.
Well, first
you trying to tell me discrimination ain't finna be in place? You're never gonna work in this town again.
Well, okay. First and foremost, again, the
shout
problem
out to Harvey
is,
Weinstein.
The problem is your whole scenario still has the you didn't disclose, right? So there's the problem because if that person disclosed, that person may or may not have, consented. And therein lies your problem. Yeah, you're probably going to be, not probably, you're going to be blacklisted after that because he's upset that he's upset that now again he's been violated. He just participated non-consensually in something.
So does this person have to disclose on his application or whatever?
Well, no. Again, those example it includes sexual activity. That's what the punchline was, that he had sex with the person. Now we overlook the fact that the power dynamics there, and this is a CEO and a subordinate and blah blah blah. But anyways, just having non-consensual sex, like again, disclose before you have sex with someone. Probably, I would say first date. Like the idea that we're out and we're having drinks, or we're out and we're conversating in a context that alludes to we might be sexual. Disclose before. I always told my students, disclose before it's hot and heavy. You shouldn't be petting, rubbing, kissing, sucking. Before any of that happens, they need to know what they're consenting to.
Disclose before I buy this goddamn drink.
Right. Disclose before I get that number.
Right before they put this ice in the cup, like, are you really a girl? Okay, cool.
Right.
Before give me a double shot of this Hennessy.
Right.
Johnny, before Johnny gets you that Washington apple.
I get you this goddamn Washington.
But you know what? Speaking of drinks, you know there are some guys.
If she's fine, I might get a white chocolate martini. That's my drink of seduction right there. That's how I put it down right there.
But
you never had a white chocolate martini.
Hilarious.
Actually, I have.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
When?
I was like 22. I was young.
When
Johnny said they just came out.
Exactly.
No, white chocolate martinis. They've had chocolate martinis forever. All you have to do is put a white chocolate cream in, like a Bailey's. It makes a white chocolate cream.
No. See, you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, so you talking about something else? Well, whatever. I can't know what you know.
You trying to get a white chocolate martini at Sizzler? No. It's deeper than that.
No, it was Morton's. It was Morton's. I fuck with the steakhouse.
Hey, Johnny Mack. This is what Johnny Mack does, man.
So go way back.
But yeah, we were just asking a question, and I forgot what you were asking.
Somebody in the chat room called it. They called it replica yoni.
Right.
Replica. That's not inaccurate.
It's a replica of real yoni.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't have any signs to prove this. I believe that person knows. Like, what's his name? Laverne Cox. What's the motherfucking name?
Laverne Cox.
That motherfucker knows he's not a woman.
Right.
That motherfucker know that. Cause the same comic I got into it with, that motherfucker reverted. This motherfucker got implants and ass implants and everything else. That motherfucker said, "I'm a man." Whoa, wait a minute.
Well, that's a
when they got
person,
mad, that motherfucker came out and said, "I'm still a man." I believe all these people really know that they're still a man.
Well, some of them aren't. Some of them were really hermaphrodites, and they just had to pick a gender, and their parents picked the one they didn't identify with, and now they switch into the other one.
No, I will say this though.
Yeah.
Well, you got a great point. I will say this.
She don't.
Because I know you've dealt with these people, and you've kind of coached them and mentored them. Do they have like identity conflicts, like gender conflicts?
Apparently.
Like even after, say, they had the surgery, do they like, damn, I'm still a guy? Like, do they have those kind of thoughts? Or I'm still a girl? Like, does that happen?
Absolutely, it does. And there are people who transition and they realize like either it's too hard or it's not what they thought, and they transition back. That does happen. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of professionals are going to advise and not allow you to transition until after puberty, because puberty in and of itself is, gender specifically, we don't talk about it, very ambiguous. Like a lot of things that are now young adulthood, we have kind of taught our young people to be androgynous. So like the gender lines are very, very smushed in adolescence. And so a lot of people are going to require you to wait till after puberty. But the issue is now we're realizing puberty and even your prefrontal cortex, we talk about adolescence being till 25. It's like they're making people wait till 19 and 25 to transition.
Can you
It should make them wait till forever.
Yeah, again, a lot of these people, when you transition, you have
They
committed...
can un-origami your dick.
Yes, and again, the people who have transitioned, it's not just so like, oh, I got surgery. These people have committed, like transplant people, they've committed to lifelong hormones. It's not just hormones for the time that they get operations. They have committed to lifelong hormonal treatment. Now, it changes to different dosages over periods of time, but like Laverne Cox will forever be taking estrogen. dosages.
But maybe
for
because
life.
the motherfucker's 6'5", that might.
You know what I'm saying? So, and even when you do female to male, you have committed then to testosterone treatment for the rest of your life.
Wow.
It's not just like, oh, I transitioned, now I'm done. No, they've committed to
But then
taking
this person
forever.
says, I'm a woman. You taking fucking pills and hormone pills
I
for
mean,
the rest
women
of your
take
life.
hormone pills. I started birth control because my family has a history of hormonal imbalance.
You
So
you have a lot of issues. You've done a lot of shit. How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
You've done a lot of shit.
I've lived life. This is true.
When I was 30, I was just getting off my parole. And
Hormones
after that,
are very confusing, and it's very bad. So a lot of people will do that. They'll do, like preliminary hormone treatment as like a way to see if you really are trans. Again, you have to be diagnosed with a mental health identity.
Would you date a trans dude?
I thought about that on the way over here, and I was like, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not sure if I would or not. I don't know.
You have children?
No.
So you don't know if you'll date a trans dude?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like I would have to meet the person they tell me, and then I'd be like, let me see. Like, I'm very much, again, Zoe knows this, a lot of people know, like, I'm very much chemistry based. So if I just happen to organically, be vibing with a trans person, I might. Or I might very much be like, that's not for me. And I just say that, like, oh, nah.
Well, that ain't gonna never happen with Johnny Mack, goddammit. Ever.
Yeah.
I'm taking the word trans even out my whole vocabulary. I'm not gonna say
But yeah,
trans.
that would be a commitment that I would have to be like, I'm not gonna biologically have children with you. Yeah, that would be messed up.
Oh, you can't.
Wow. Let me get these callers.
Because the dude, he can't produce. If it was a girl going to a dude,
Well, we
don't
all know
produce
this.
sperm cells.
So I'm saying, like, you'd have to commit to just accepting, okay, we're either gonna like be artificially inseminated or just not have kids. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Let's get the callers in. Caller. You're on the Voice of Reason. We're in bizarro world. Right?
Yeah, that voice went perfect with that music too.
Caller, speak on it.
It's Darnell Tuscaloosa.
Darnell Tuscaloosa. Let's get deep. Here he goes.
Darn easy.
What's up? Hey, I'm calling to give props to Johnny Mack.
Thank you, brother. I don't even know what I'm getting props for, but thank you.
I'm a jokester, right?
Uh-huh.
And hey, you helped me change my reflex after telling jokes. Like, I used to tell a joke, and I feel sorry for somebody and be like, I'm just playing, but I heard you use that I'm just serious. That shit changed the whole dynamic of the whole joke. They be like, oh, they sit and think and be like,
that's right.
Oh, he for real.
You know what I think, Darnell? I think if somebody try to bag on me, I think, and Zote, I think if somebody try to bag, I think they deserve these jokes. They need this shit. Because sometimes people, and you say you're a jokester, sometimes people think they got jokes and they really don't. I think I need to come in there, set you straight, let you know you ain't gonna make it, destroy you, and have you go home and revitalize your life.
Revitalize your life. First, I gotta tear you down so you can build yourself back up.
Exactly.
Amen.
Bring you down to nothing.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Darnell, for the call. We appreciate it, good brother.
It's true. That's how I believe.
That's right.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it.
What's up, Zoe? This is Bowman in Texas.
Bowman in Texas. Didn't you just call?
You called.
No, you called earlier today for the sound check. All right, what's happening, Pam?
For the sound check. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Okay, I just want to say there's a front end and a back end to the transsexuality movement, homosexuality movement, period. The front end is just the showcasing to get everybody accustomed to the certain type of lifestyle of transsexuality and actually getting people more exposed to homosexuality and delving into those acts. But on the back end is where they really want to control those who are considered to be the elite, who have bought out all these governments and things like that. They want to automatically destroy whatever type of relationship you have with the universe and to take away your ability to reach the highest level of self so that you won't be able to realize your potential in order to take over what they have controlled. And as long as they continue to do that, nobody will be able to understand the true power that they have to get the earth back in order and restored. And real quick, I don't know if any of you have watched the video about the honeybees, where the yellow hornet, I think it was actually attacking their camp, but once the honeybees worked together and built up that heat, they cooked it. So we have to look at nature as the same way as how we should look at to nature in order to understand how we can interact with one another in order to take our power back.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
This is what we're about to do.
I'm never gonna watch a video about the honeybees.
This is what we're
hilarious.
No, he dropped some good information, but I think
did.
people need to marinate on it.
No.
Let's
First
get
of all,
45 seconds of just this beat. Turn it up right now. Let's go. Ooh, shit. We just had to take a deep breath.
Wow.
Hey, so you gotta start after that last caller. You gotta start drug testing your caller.
We wouldn't have no fan base then. Half these people high.
Hey, listen.
Hey, that's some
Smoke
high power
weed
shit.
every day.
When you talking about honeybees in the universe, I'm
You know
like,
what?
He was just talking about getting back in alignment with nature.
Right.
He was saying all this newfangled shit is out of sync with nature.
Right.
You know, that's what I got from it.
I got confused from it.
He was like bees attacking each other and fighting, and it was like, but I
You talking about the Charlotte Hornets? What is this nigga talking about?
You're so
Hilarious.
crazy. I love it.
Hilarious.
that shit was lit though, man.
No, that's what's up.
Nah.
We in the business of giving everybody their voice.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm not in that business.
You under
That's
there?
right.
I'm not in that business.
You under there?
I'm not in that business.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason. Tonight's topic: Transformers.
More than meets the eye.
More than meets the motherfucking eye. He/SheMO's.
Shem.
HeMO's and SheMO's. A more in-depth look at the transgender revolution. You can't run and hide now. They're here. They're amongst us. They live.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it's that many of them. I just don't believe it's that many motherfuckers, you know, I don't believe it's that many. I think it's about a hot 38 of them. And they it can't be.
You can find 38 of them on Santa Monica.
Oh, first of all, I'm not gonna be on Santa Monica.
Right now.
I'm not going to Santa Monica. I just don't believe it's that many of them motherfuckers. I just don't believe it.
Good enough.
I was just giving her a ride home.
It's a lot of them. One thing I think is wrong though.
And he fell out the window. What? What the fuck happened?
Come on, Mimi. What you got?
Hey, Johnny, who was that?
I ain't gonna say his name. He'll be banned from his house again.
I know, right?
I got banned from our fight party.
I'm gonna set Mimi up.
Yeah.
Y'all let me set Mimi up. See, that's y'all
That
problem.
was funny. Let me set Mimi up.
Let me tell y'all what real radio is. You look to me to set you up.
Right.
Let me set Mimi. Mimi's my thing right here.
Uh-oh.
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
Hello.
it is.
Sexual
I'm
harassment.
taking
Put cases
Mimi.
on me.
Mimi's mine, my nigga. I'm always gonna set Mimi up.
I have a question.
Hold on, Nick. Look at Mimi in here.
Yes, boo.
What up, Mimi? What you got to say, baby?
I was just speaking on the fact that, you know, so many times what I think is wrong is when people put a little Mickey in the drink so they know you don't really mess with guys.
What's
You're a
wrong with
guy.
that?
If it's a guy messing with a guy and he's a transgender and he wants to take you down, you think that's cool? He puts a
Oh, you
Mickey
talking
in
about
your
trans
drink?
people like
Yeah.
roofing other people?
Right, trans. So that's the topic.
that shit don't
Trans.
never happen.
Yes, it does.
I'm sure it does.
Yes,
I don't
it
believe that
does.
shit.
They sure do. People put Mickey's. What?
I don't believe that.
Yo, my gosh. You know, I have.
I mean, straight men do it. I'm sure trans people do it. That's
they,
crazy.
They do it. One of my homegirls, her sister cuts hair, and the guys, they're not even trans. They're just gay guys. And what they do is they plot on heterosexual guys. They go out with them, hang out. Let's hang out tonight. They put some shit in they drink. By the end of the night, they've been taken down.
And that's rape.
Right,
Like,
and that's rape.
non-consensually,
So
First of
that
all-
happens, and that happens with them dressed regularly. So if you don't think the ones that put on a dress don't try the same
But
trick
first of all, as a
sometimes,
straight man, why am I hanging out with a homosexual guy?
because they're not letting it be known they're the down low brothers.
Then he's not a straight. He's not a straight man.
But listen, but as you think, as you see
the straight
him,
guy's somewhere with a down low person. They don't know they're
right,
on the down
exactly.
low. That's what she said.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, let me repeat it again. So you're hanging out with your boy. You don't know he's on the DL.
Help Johnny.
But he is on the DL. He's hanging out with you. You think he's your homie. He low-key checking out the girls, but trying to set you up for the night. You feel me? He checking out you. You think y'all checking out the girls, but he really setting you up for the night.
He's roofing you.
He's roofing you. He not even really tripping on the ladies. He tripping on you.
So Mimi, you telling me there are trans predators out there?
Predators, yes.
You got to be safe in these streets, period. There's predators everywhere.
That's predators everywhere.
Tiff, can we talk about the trans predator?
I mean, I'm
Is
sure
it
they
real?
exist. There's predators in all areas of life, so I assume they exist just like in straight people. There's predators. So that doesn't surprise me. I just never even really thought about it. But yeah, I mean, that's, again, consent. It's all rape. It's all non-consensual sex. If you're roofing someone to have sex with them, that's wrong, period.
So
what do you mean by roofing them?
Bill Cosby.
Bill
Cosby.
Whatever you want to use.
I'm putting the pill Cosby on them.
Right.
So
the pill and the
But
deal.
what am I gonna do with the pills if I can't use them?
So let me ask you guys this question. I'm
gonna be saving pills.
What about the mindset of the ashamed, quote unquote, heterosexual man? What about his mindset?
Well, there's a
He's
lot
in
to
the
be ashamed
dark.
about.
Let me set it up. He's in the dark. He's trying to live this secret, down low life. He's got this attraction to SheMO's. Bobby Valentina.
Right.
And others, Mr. C.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Who?
He said 3 times.
What I'm saying is, don't they need help? Because really they're ashamed.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're ashamed. So how do those guys come to terms with, well, fuck it, I like boy pussy?
Well, that usually happen on C and D block when you admit that you like boy pussy. You can't really say I like boy pussy out in the open.
When you free.
When you're free, you can't really say that.
Say it, John.
On C and D block, you might have to.
Right.
I think they don't want the stigma of it. They're trying to look like a certain way for the crowd, for the people, for their peers, for their family. They don't want grandma to see you coming home with your dress on or with a shim. You know what I mean? So now they date a woman to act like they like women, but really they like the men when they're on the down low.
And then they're putting the peanut butter spoon in the jelly jar.
Exactly.
That is the best one I've heard thus far.
Exactly.
Because they going back and forth.
Double dipping.
Right.
They fucking straight women.
That's funny.
And SheMO's and him.
Exactly. Yeah, they having a variety.
Like you said,
You like that, Johnny?
That was funny as shit right there.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
but there is a reason they feel ashamed, because again, society has told them to. So like there's an understanding of why they feel ashamed, but not the same, but similarly to when you're in a gay relationship and one of you is out and one of you isn't, that's really between you and your partner, like talking about like, I'm not going to be with you unless you're going to be out with me. That happens a lot. And so it's like they got to deal with that, whether that's therapy or you just don't live that life, but that's up to you and your partner, because that happens with a lot of gay people too.
Here's my thing. And I've heard you say it several times, like society demonized, or the society told you can't come out, and society. No, ain't nobody told you that shit. That's some shit you made up in your own mind. We ain't never. In my
We're not paying attention.
Yeah, we have never told you. Ain't nobody ever told you gotta hide that shit. That's you thinking you gotta hide that shit. We don't really give a fuck. We just, whatever you do, just do it over there.
Right.
I don't think society.
That part.
And that's everything we do. When I do, when I go out on girls, I can't do this in public in front of everybody. I got to pick my place where I'm gonna get this done at.
So Johnny Mack is basically saying coming out doesn't mean hire a PR firm.
Yeah, we don't
want to know about
exactly.
it.
We don't give a fuck.
Right.
And they all say the same thing. Well, they told me, and like they was bashed or something, they was bullied or whatever kind of shit. Ain't nobody doing all that shit. If you come out and say, hey man, I'm gay, we don't give a fuck. Just don't be gay. I don't need to look fucking on MySpace. What the fucking thing called? What's this shit called?
Just say social media.
Social
Johnny,
media.
okay.
I don't need to. I'm trying to name all of them. I don't need to be on social media and you say it every fucking day. Or I saw where this guy was 18 years old and he was valedictorian of his high school, and he said, "Well, because I was gay, they held me back." Nobody tell you to stay back.
Well,
now,
I would love for that to be the case for everybody, but it's not. Like,
if you gonna
I
chew
have
on some,
worked with youth
if
where
you
they've
gonna
been
chew on
kicked
some
out of their
foreskin, be
houses
proud
and
about it.
lost their families and kicked out of schools. There's kids
Anybody
where
doing
that's
all
really
that
happening
shit.
to people. So I wish that was the truth, but
We
it's
all
just
knew
not.
Junebug
All
was
right.
gay. Nobody cared.
Here we go. Here we go. Damn, this show could have kept going.
Right.
It couldn't have.
Yeah, it could have. Johnny, hey, Johnny, contrary to popular belief, we're successful.
Just like fucking. Sooner or later, you gotta come. Just like fucking. Sooner or later, it's gonna end. You gotta come.
You got a bus.
You got a bus.
So we gotta go.
Right.
But before we go,
the Dodgers are blowing it.
One of our it's over 5-0, top of the fourth. Yeah, left 2 stranded in the last inning. Okay, cool.
That's all.
One of our female listeners, they always come with great insight. Says men buy plastic vaginas though.
Yeah, they
so are they really tripping on a man-made vajayjay, plastic or human? Yeah, because that vajayjay, that origami vajayjay was once a swipe. And 2 swipes can't ever touch.
True. I get
if
it.
If two swipes touch, that's gay.
Right.
Hey, like Biggie said, 2 dicks and no bitch, you find yourself in some serious shit.
Right.
A refurbished
I'm a
yoni
certified genius.
is just a penis that failed.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's terrible.
My homeboy said he dated a girl and she had a fake one and it didn't go. He said normally if you do that with the girl, it's supposed to go.
Oh, that
And
juice.
he said it wasn't no juice popping off.
That's
so,
a juice box.
Yeah, it was
Juice
dry.
box that real.
Maybe she didn't like him. Maybe
I was gonna say there's other reasons to be dry.
Yeah,
but,
maybe he
you know.
wants
Oh
shit.
no, they have been playing the whole time. That's why
playing.
no.
Maybe he
This is
wants
why
shit.
the conversation had even got started. No, it was a great
play.
So let's do this really quickly.
Y'all know a lot of strange people. I don't know none of these people.
Right.
Hey Johnny, where can people find you, man? How do they follow you, bro?
I really don't do social media that much, and you cats really ain't gonna be able to hire me. I usually
So
work
fuck
for,
y'all.
Yeah, I just work for TV shows. Now, if you got your own show, you need a good writer, you can call a boy, call me up. But I'm not a social media dude.
I got you, Johnny.
Yeah.
Tiff Talks.
You can find me everywhere on social media at Tiff Talk TV. TIFFTALK TV.
Love it. And of
But you're not on
course,
TV?
Mimi.
What's up? Check us out tomorrow night, Keeping It Real with Mimi on Accelerated Radio at 7 to 8 p.m. Me and your boy, Zoe Williams, going to be turned up. You already know how we do.
How do you
Tune
do?
in. We do it. Hey, we go big.
Oh.
We go big.
It be
We go
wild.
home. No, don't even play. We go hard, huh?
Yeah, it'd be wild.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you don't go hard.
Oh, no, I don't go hard.
Don't come
But
at
I
Mimi as a woman.
but I'm a woman, okay? 100%.
So y'all get with Mimi tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't get it twisted. We're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be fire. Listen, I gotta run. Man, this shit was dope. This shit went
was.
fast in a motherfucker,
Heck
right?
yeah.
Listen, a lot of you motherfuckers was lazy in the chat room on the super chat. So I'm gonna tell you, this is how you support the Voice of Reason Radio. This is how we doing it here. Go to my GoFundMe page, www.gofundme.com/Zoe Williams. That's how you donate to the movement. Get at me ASAP. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'll be back Friday with another slapper. Deuces.
Deuces.